So you don't know how to cut and sew a perfect straight skirt that will bring out all those beautiful curves that you have. Please just watch this video till the end and let me teach you how to do that. I'm going to start by folding my fabric into two, and the measurement I'll be using to fold this fabric is going to be the hip measurement, which is the biggest part of the skirt. So I'll be using my hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch. That is what I'll be using to fold the skirt. And to take the length measurement, I'm going to be raising the tape up by 1.5 inches before I start taking my measurement. This is because the skirt is going to be having a band of 2 inches. So when I join the band to the skirt, the measurement is just going to be accurate. And if you won't be using band for yours, just start your measurement from the start of the tape. I took my skirt length measurement and I added 2 inches for folding allowance. So the next thing I'll be doing now is to take the waist measurement. For the waist measurement, I'm going to be adding 2 inches. 1 inch is going to be for that intake and the other 1 inch is going to be for seam allowance. The next thing I'm going to do now is to locate my hip line, and I'll be using 8 inches for this. So I'm just going to rule a line there, and that is where I will be taking my hip measurement. I mean the hip circumference, that is hip divided by 4 plus sewing allowance. For the hip, I'm going to add 1 inch for seam allowance because there will be no darts there, so 1 inch is just fine for the hip. You can add more to yours if you want, but the lesser the seam allowance, the more beautiful your skirt turns out to be. All right, for the down part of the skirt, which is the hem, I will just subtract 1 inch from the hip measurement. You can do 1.5. It depends on how pencil or how you want your skirt to be, but for mine, I don't want it to be too tight so that I will be able to work easily. So I'm just going to be subtracting 1 inch from my hip measurement, and I'll connect the lines. You can use your free hand for this. There is nothing serious. Just make sure that you don't have two sharp points there so that your skirt can come out well. And that is why you see me blending the shape of the skirt with my free hand. The next thing I'll do now is to mark out the dart. So that is what I'm doing here. I'm just marking out the dart. I'm not going to be cutting it out. I'm just marking it so that I'll be able to notch it. It makes it easier when you are sewing your skirt. I'll be cutting the skirt out now. So I'm just going to follow the lines I marked out already. And for the folding allowance of the skirt, I'm going to be folding it as you can see me do here in this video. That is how I do. There are times that if you just cut out straight, following the shape you marked earlier, it turns out to be kind of short or something. If you've been sewing skirt for long, you understand what I'm trying to say. So I like to fold this way and just cut out. And this is what the skirt looks like. If you watch this video very well, you can see the reason I folded the folding allowance to cut it out. You can see that shape there. So that's just it. To cut the back, I'm going to be placing the front on my already folded fabric, and the next thing I will be doing is to mark out my zipper allowance. Please don't forget to do this. I'll be marking out my zipper allowance, and I'll also extend the hip line, just to mark it on the back bodice as well. You understand why I'm doing this soon. Just pay attention. So I'll extend my hip line as you can see me doing this video. So usually we are supposed to just cut out the shape of the back bodice following the front bodice. Yes, we are still going to do that, but the only difference in what I'll be doing here is I will be adding ½ inch to the waistline of the back bodice. You will understand the reason I am adding ½ inch to the waistline if you watch this video till the end. Just pay attention. And I will also add another ½ inch somewhere close to the hem of this skirt. As you can see me do here, I'll be adding ½ inch to that place as well. For the hip line, I'm not going to be adding any allowance. I'm just going to be connecting the measurement on the hip line to the ½ inch that I added to the waist and the ½ inch that I added to somewhere around the hem line. And now it's time to cut out. If you don't want your skirt to bring out all those curves that you have, you don't need to do all of this. Just cut out following the shape of your front bodice. But if you want a perfect fit for your skirt, do this and you will thank me later. All right, now the next thing I want to do now is to go to my zipper allowance. I'll be taking out ½ inch from that zipper allowance, as you can see me doing this video. Yes, that was the reason I added ½ inch to the waistline of the back body, so that the measurement is not going to be short when we are done. And I'll also go to the down part of this skirt, and I will also subtract ½ inch so that to have this very nice curve. I don't want that part to just be straight. Do you understand? So when you fix your zipper there, it's just going to lay flat. It's going to bring out the perfect shape, and at the same time it's going to prevent your zipper from bulging. Yes, and that's how to cut a perfect skirt that sits perfectly on your body. Now I'm just going to be cutting it out following the shape that I marked out. I'll cut out the side and also the zipper area. You're almost done. Please don't forget to notch your zipper allowance. Please don't forget to notch it. And one last thing I like to do for my skirt is to bring back the front bodice, and I'll measure ½ inch. I'll be measuring ½ inch, and I'll just connect it. I'll be curving it to the waist area. The reason I am doing this is to avoid all those excesses you see in front of your skirt. So I'll be going in by ½ inch, as you can see me do here. And yes, that's it for a basic skirt. If you make your skirt this way, it is always going to come out perfect. This is how to make your skirt. Also, do not forget to notch your darts area, both on the front and the back bodies, as you can see me do here. It's going to help you to easily locate where the upper part and the down part is, so that you wouldn't make any mistake when you are sewing your skirt. And that will be all for this tutorial. Thank you guys for watching. Bye. I'll see you in my next video.